Okay, so it's 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. I didn't do the video yesterday. I worked my ass off in the garden. There's like, every time I look at, because, like if you're creating space, you have to stand back and look at the space and get it from different angles and stuff. And then when you do that, then you see things like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then the fence, that big, I think that fit, I don't think, it feels like it's so much taller than me. Could be 6 foot though, but it's big and heavy as fuck. And it's just, I don't know. When you have somebody who is, 80 helping you, it's like, I mean, I think 80 in the future is going to be a lot different, but 80 in the current is, yeah, it's uh so anyways, lifting that, but I mean, just getting whole stuff like somewhat and whatever. But yesterday she was rolling a big log up the thing, so I mean, she does do stuff. It's not like she's out there in her walker or something. Like, she's not like, there's people my age using walkers and shit. So I mean, then for a while, when I was falling and stuff all the time, um, uh, people were telling me to use a cane. And if I was going to be going blind, I was going to be needing one, but I was going to be needing one of those long tapping ones. But, I was falling and stuff, and and that has all been a part of my healing health journey because that was weakness in my core, and then my eyes were losing um, um, what is that called, peripheral vision, because of little, I think, little worms from the botulism situation. So anyways, that's the whole thing. I talk about that enough. A whole bunch of things that I want to talk about. um it's weird as fuck though. God dang, every day, like, I think I I'll feel like, okay, maybe it's all in my head. It just feels weird. And then, I'll feel fine tomorrow. Then get up and it's just like, oh, it's just weirder. Just gets weirder. It's definitely not getting into, now I feel like I think I've got alters. I think I've got a split personality. I'm just in here talking to myself all fucking time. Like, and I'm used to talking, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it unless you use telepathy to talk, is because it's certain things, there's distances. And this conversation is so close. It's like it's like my, good and bad side were way out here. Like when I was 3 years old and when this whole thing started for me. And that's when they became so clear to me, these two sides. And they knew shit. Like, they're telling me shit. And so, hold on. But it's like they were over here and over here. Even like I was turning to look, like I was expecting to see someone sitting there. And I probably in my head, I was seeing the little devil guy and the little angel guy. Maybe I'd seen it in a movie. Maybe it was in pictures in Sunday school or whatever. But I knew that it was like the devil and the angel arguing, trying to pull me in one direction or the other. To tell me. But it didn't even feel like, you're selling your soul. Like, if you do what he says, you're dead. No, it was just because I did what he said and they never gave up on me. Like, they stuck with me. So, but how that was like that. Now it's like right here. It's like they're just right here. It's like playing at fucking badminton or something or whatever, some game, and they're close by, just hitting it back and forth. It's like, shut the fuck up. And it's like, so all day I feel like every motherfucking thought is like this. I don't know, like, we gotta spin around it. Let's dance around it. Let's look at it from all angles. Let's talk about it. It's like, oh, goddamn, goddamn, goddamn. Like, oh, fuck. And it's so crazy, too, because people can't see what's going on inside you. Nobody ever fucking knows. People have no clue what's going on inside people. And in this world, people just mask. They always are like, put on a happy face. just smile and grin and bear it. So it's always this shenanigans, this fake ass shenanigan world. And everybody's so fucking lost. I swear to God. Like this morning I went on, because whatever the poison or whatever they're spraying on us is giving me horrible inflammation. And, and I've been saying, but my mom now, she can have that conversation. And then she even said, oh yeah, so-and-so called from down the street and they were so pissed. They said they're out there spraying and I had to go in, my nose is running and everything. It's like everybody's catching on to that. But that, man, when I started talking about the up in the sky, fuck, man, that was 2016. And I had somebody talking to me about it. So I don't even know how long she had been aware of it. But so look at how long. And that still is like when you talk about it, not everybody's on board. Some people are just still like, well, that's normal. Quit binging. Oh, God. And that is something like, oh, my God, my triggers are intense right now. So intense. And I'm not going to just react to them. And I'm not going to stuff them. And so it's a lot of processing. People have no idea what you're going on in your mind. And when them fucking games are going like, goddamn, they just keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's like, okay, let's just resolve this. Let's just let it go. Yeah, well, does that mean you're gonna stuff it? It's like it just goes through this like whole thing. It's like, oh, shut up, shut the fuck up. And hold on. But the triggers, boy, they just keep on coming, boy. They're coming in fast and hot. It's just like, and some of the things that it seems like this would not bother me usually. Like I could just let go of this shit. Like what the fuck, man? And so I feel like the energy is super intense, man. It's just so intense. And I mean you can see through people's bullshit. It's like you just yeah. People just do their shit and they don't realize you can see through it. It's like, oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. But um so anyways, the inflammation from whatever the fuck they're spraying on us is so extreme. I mean, and it's the so it creates like this stiffness, and it is it's just like what people think of like they've got arthritis and all that stuff. It's like an overreaction to the poison, telling you. And so I'm having all of these things going all over my body. So it's like this hit of, I guess I would assume it's kind of like arthritis pain, like this aching, but it hits in with these like sharp, like you're just sitting there and all of a sudden this sharp aching thing, like in your whole hand. And it's like, oh, fuck. Shoots down your leg into your toes and shit. It's like, it's crazy. And so trying to sleep with that is hard. I just cannot get comfortable. So like I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna get any sleep. And then but I did because it was 2 in the morning when I got up. Or it might have been 2:20. And I'm really stressing. I'm thinking Stella's picking up on it because oh my gosh, it is gonna, me being gone is gonna be traumatic to my dogs. It's gonna be fucking traumatic. Like, and then some of the things, it's just like, oh god, the triggers, oh god. And it's just like, and I'm not gonna be confrontational. I'm not gonna be, you know, argumentative. I'm not gonna use this opportunity to tell you what you've always done and how you always do it, you know. It's just like, just like walk off, and then just go through the process. But like I said, you have to be careful. I mean, it's so, oh, and it gets so much more as you go through it. It's like it gets more harder, more complex, and more intricate, and more like you're getting down to the real rough edge. You're getting really smooth down in the crevices and shit, man. It's like, fuck. And so it's It's exhausting, I swear to God. Especially if you got this fucking battle in here going all the time, goddamn tournament going on in my mind over. Let's look at it from every perspective. Let's talk about it. It's like I don't need to talk about it right now. Sometimes I feel by myself in these weird like saying stuff like that too. I feel like it's like I don't know. Maybe that's been the thing is why everybody's always thought I'm weird. Maybe I've always been a whole weirdo big old thing, and now it's all coming in together or something. I don't know. I honestly have no clue. Trying to figure out what other people see is ridiculous. When other people just see some skinny girl and, oh, I wish I was skinny too, it's like, you're not seeing the me. You're not seeing the what I put into my health, what I put into taking care of myself. And what really blows me away too is, since my explant, because my explant, that was a big difference. And who knew? Like, what the hell, these plastic surgeons, like, fucking kooky. When you wake up and you're looking down, there's nothing inside of your body that you see like other people. Like, it doesn't matter what you see. What this person sees looking out is very different. And everybody has perspectives on things and stuff. But anyways, when you're looking down, you just don't, even when you look in the mirror, I don't know. My reflection was way more of my kids. My one daughter, the one that I've always had to work on, she's always come in to teach me boundaries. She's taught me so many good lessons and stuff. But she would tell me, man, Mom, you should get those out. And she was the one who went with me to the plastic surgeon. She was also there and was like, you should probably do it. But, I'm asking for an A. Like, I'm asking to just fill the skin in a little bit. Like, just some little small thing to fill in the skin. Because at that point, after I had had kids and nursed them all and all that stuff, it was a pretty shrill situation. And so, and then of course they name it. You go to the doctor. Oh, that's called blah, blah, blah. You've got that serious disorder. Yeah, we need to take care of that. And then my daughter, yeah, that's pretty horrible. I fixed that. But, you go in and thinking they're just going to put a little tiny thing in there. And you come out fucking Pamela Anderson style. And my one daughter said that she heard like more. This is so much more common. But the plastic surgeon's office told me themselves like that was a trend. All the plastic surgeons were doing it. They were sticking in implants that were way too big for the people because they had the image of Pamela Anderson in their mind. So when they look at it, it's just like, I think bigger. That's what my guy did. He said his whole staff came in. It was like, nah, we gotta go bigger. Let's go bigger, 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 bigger. It's like, you're talking about my chest. And then when you say that you're not happy, well, it's double to get them out. So, hold on a sec. And so, it's just weird how taking those out. So, because I've been like the same size, like, when my clothes weren't fitting, it was the top. It was like, I've been the same size for a long time. And, but then taking those out, all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, you're so small, you're so skinny. And, it is, and the only difference, I mean, since getting them out, it's like maybe 5 pounds that I've lost. But I've definitely been doing the bands and stuff, and that tightens the muscles. But that also had to do with building my core strength. Like, I thought, like, they told us menopause, like, you can't get your waist back and all that stuff. Like, I was like, well, you just have a thicker waist or whatever. But getting these back, no, it pulls in these muscles. So that's different. But, I think maybe my pants have changed by like one size, but still it is, not, it's the top part that is changed a lot. But it's just weird, because I don't know. I would get comments before, but it's way more now. And so, and the thing is before when I wasn't healthy, then but this is the thing too, is back then when everybody was telling me, well, you're anorexic, you're toxic, you're this, you're that, you got an eating disorder and shit like that. I was just doing the same kind of thing as like I do now. I was less though about eating when the sun came up. I kept feeling like, well, when I start eating, I can't stop. So if I start eating in the morning, I'm just gonna eat all day. But so sometimes I would skip breakfast, but usually it's like I have something with the tea. Otherwise, it just the acid is as and even anything. I don't know. I've got a highly acidic system, I think, and which I think the acid and alkaline and where you are in your system depends on what can grow inside of you, and so that is what would be way more of the keeping the C or the big P out of you and not this where they're, oh, we can stop all of this with this just a couple of these. Fucking liars. Um, so anyways, um but back then, um the I would not I would like not eat in the it was more eat still one main meal. And that's where people would tell me, that I was toxic, I was anorexic, I had an eating disorder because I didn't follow the government plan of our eating. And so that just would trigger people. And then I figured out because I would feel fat. And like I said, looking from inside does not look the same. So you can look at me and you can think like, oh my gosh, you're skinny. From inside and looking down, oh, you can see lumps, you can see, but like you don't look at yourself and just go, and you can look in the mirror and somehow your eyes are always going to gravitate to certain things. You don't see yourself. You go out in the world and everybody is seeing you in all different ways. So whatever you're putting out there, and then there's so many, it's like, does it really even fucking matter? It matters more about how you feel about yourself. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like you look? Do you feel like you're doing your best? Do you? Because that is what, is the more important than trying to be, satisfactory for everybody else, like everybody else. So, um, but anyways, but now I've realized that it was the bloating. I had horrible stomach issues. I was going and getting all these MRIs. That's how they found the proteins in my lungs. They found checking on my stomach is how they found, oh, you got to get a hysterectomy. You got this going on too. It's like that's got to be it. And I've been having issues because I got the double hysterectomy thing back in '09 is when I got my brain injury in February. And so the um so the let's see, so I got brain injury. So the let me think what I was. Oh, so I was having I've had stomach issues since I was a little kid, and then they took out my gallbladder, which I was just like, fuck. I wish I would have known. See, you don't know the things before you know them, and but they hit a lot harder when you do. Yeah, when you realize like, fuck, I made the choice. And and I know in my heart of hearts that I was making like I wanted the quick and easy way. I did not ever want to feel that pain again. Get the fucking thing out of me. And they told me that's the solution. And so, anyways, but I've had stomach issues ever since I was a kid. Like I had said before, I would get these weird cramps inside and nobody could understand what was happening to me. And it hurt so bad. Oh my God, it was so fucking horrible. And when I was real young, I would just go crazy about it and be screaming and all this stuff. And but then as I got to be older, I started seeing like, okay, if I lay down, I relax and I close my eyes and just keep on pushing, the breathing, just relax, 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 it will stop. Which also makes me feel like it was some kind of a spasm, which trips me up because this is all a fucking illusion. So it's weird. But anyways, your body is trying to talk to you and tell you things. And I've had my stomach talking to me my whole life. And so back then, though, I was skinny, apparently. And I would always say, I'm so fat. I'm so fat. Do I look fat? And I had teenage daughters. And so I gave them all an eating disorder. It had nothing to do with their dads always telling them that I'm toxic, don't listen to me. I've got an eating disorder and I'm crazy. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that. But anyways, so now I see it was the bloating. It was whenever I would be bloated, feeling inside. When you feel bloated, you feel like you're fucking blown up balloon. Like, it doesn't matter what you are looking at. What you're seeing is like, everything is like, oh. So now I see like I was having medical issues and I was really bloated and felt bloated and stuff, but I kept feeling like it was fatness. And then people would look at me and go like, you're crazy. You're not fat. You're skinny. I'd be like, what? And then the body dysmorphia. Well, you got body dysmorphia. Well, now I see it as like, I think if you got a bunch of girls running around that are skinny saying that they're fat, it's because they feel fat because the fucking food is toxic and their GI and their gut is fucked and they feel super bloated and they're uncomfortable. And so, anyways, and to me, it's hard to tell. Like, even looking in the mirror, that's why I've always used like my jeans as the thing. Like, if I put on a pair of jeans, and that's what would always be during the summertime. Like, you put on different clothes, and then you go back, and then you put on your jeans, and it's like, oh man, my jeans are tight. To me, it's just like this change. Like, it's easy through the season to just, you know, eat more, drink more. Like, especially. When it's like seasonal foods and stuff, you know. And so, you know, more strawberries and shortcake, please. I'll have some extra corn on the cob, which I really love corn on the cob with a lot of butter and stuff. So, anyways, I like a lot of butter. Now you bought way too much sweets and stuff. And so then even when I'm trying to be like, well, you know, this is about health. See, there's more to it though, because it also has to do with philosophy to life. And so now it irks me more when people just look at me and just be like, oh, you're just skinny, you're just toxic, you just don't eat. See, this is what happens when you just don't eat. It's like, how can you not see I have muscles and shit like that? I'm not just skinny. And then and I've pointed out so many times too to my mom, like, she's like, yeah, you're really strong. And she, I mean, she does this stamina. She says, like, you're a monster. You just don't stop. But yeah, I've got stamina and energy beyond somebody in my years, you know, or my age range. And I'm out there, you know, picking up fucking boulders and carrying them uphill to put them on shit, moving them around and picking up shovel, like all sorts of shit out there. Um, and just keep going and going and going and going. And other people, you know, like, you know, she's got to sit down a lot. And then it's like, how do you keep going? It's like, I don't know. It just is like, I put some in my mind and I just keep going. And so, anyways, I don't know. Because everything is like a stage of development when you're going through this change, this metamorphosis. It is, and so some of the things are hard to say. I mean, I don't know. It seems like I used to get tired. It seems like, I mean, I remember number 4. And I was so sick back in this point, mentally, and your physical is going to represent your emotional. That's what people don't see too. Like, if you've got issues going on with the C, the P, any of these things. See, right now, like, my fuck, man, it hurts so bad. Any of those things, you can find is that you've got something emotional, something your body is trying to show you something, it's trying to tell you something. And people don't have any clue, mind, body, spirit. They don't understand how to speak to with their body, and their body's trying to talk to them and stuff. And all they want to do is shut their body up. But anyways, so I, so we're working, oh yeah, okay, so because number 4, and we would go out and walk. I can remember going out and walking, And where we lived, there was a hill. I think this was my house before I lost it. And there was a hill back behind there. We go walk it, and he kept on being like, "You are so slow. You can't breathe," and all this stuff. It's like, fucking dude, I bet you I could fucking outwalk you now. I don't know. I was way more sickly back then. Like I said, it was only like shortly after that where my mom was sure I was about to die. I was like, thought, and, but it was, I was on a lot of those little, I can give them the white pad and sign their name, take it to the little place down the street, pick it up, and take a couple of them every day. And they had me on so many, and I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And until I broke free, until I said, no, fuck you guys. But see, I have that perspective of where they were taking me and what happened afterwards and how I pulled myself free and how I was, like I said, it's like a metamorphosis. It's like a development, and it is like a philosophy. It's like a connection, mind, body, spirit. And so it was, it's like, and the words I'm hearing. So it's like this, it's like a change in directions for one thing. It's like changing your frequency. Like you are in a cesspool of the collective, of the toxic energy where everybody just feeds off of everybody like it's criminal, toxic users. And that was most of what the world had become, was very, all these games playing out everywhere. And then the sickness happened. And then, people started staying home, reevaluating things. Everything started changing. People started, like, they were taking us through a fucking whirlwind, that's for sure. And then, so people started waking up. And so his mind was going through a traumatic, life-changing event, getting a brain injury. Losing my medical light, losing my everything fell apart. And so my awakening started before, but a lot of people started later like that when things started being, traumatic for them. And so that made a lot of change in the world. And people started looking at things and thinking of things differently. And so that started moving us in a new direction. And so there was other people who started healing, but then, there was a lot of, during the awakening, when you start seeing the bullshit and the mind control and stuff, and then when you start figuring out that the people who are doing this shit, how fucking rotten they are, goddamn vamps, and then their little minions, how fucking perverted they all are. It's like, what the fuck, bunch of fucking weirdos. And then it's like, then you see the horror show of this low vibration, and then you start swimming faster. Get the fuck out of here. But anyways, that's changing onto your other timeline. Is pulling out from all of the shenanigans and the bullshit and seeing through it and shit. Then you go towards this other timeline. Once you go, it is the change of directions is a change of focus. It's focusing on yourself. And so once you start focusing on yourself, you start healing, you start eating right, you start exercising, you start going to sleep when you're tired, it's like a whole thing. You start tuning into yourself and you start making changes. And for me, mine all happened naturally. My algorithm, the universal communication was going in my head, and then they would send me things in videos and stuff like that, or people would tell me things and stuff. And so I started learning more. Like, I'm no fucking expert on the herbs and shit. I just know some of the stuff, but I don't know it to in depth. Like these herbalists and stuff, like, fuck, man, they know a lot of shit. And there's books out there so people can learn it and stuff, but these people had to learn it. But they more had an inclination to learn it, and now they're more like experts. And then that's going to become more of the wave of what we're going. We're not going to just fuck and see this whole thing about he's going to reduce him. It just starts the battle. No. And now all the Republicans, all the Democrats, they're refusing it. No. So it's to show us. It's to show us, like, See, they're both bad guys. No, who is on our side here? That guy way over there. And then when you see the videos right now going, like, it is kooky, man. It is kooky. Like, there is these few, well, I mean, we all did it with what was happening, you know, follow the money and stuff. So now they're all, but it's going to lead them into some place that they are not expecting. As they are sure Donald is the bad guy. They just, they're talking about the evidence. Look at this, look at that. He's the bad guy. He's doing this, he's doing that. Now he's taking this big old fucking airplane gift, and they're sure it's a payoff. It's about what he's doing, and now next he's going, you know, because he's against the Neff guy, the real, he's, you know, that, but that was always going to be, like, there's going to be, and that is going to also be more of the religious thing too, splitting off, which I feel kind of like Donald when he did his little meme, and it is him as the POPE, and then the next week or next couple days, then they chose an American one. To me, he was saying they have got control of the that place, the bag. So they've got control of that. The stuff with the prince, that, I mean, Charlie Freak talked about that shit. Like, this is, and those guys, see those guys, I swear to God, when you see them and see how big and stuff they are done, they look like, I swear to God, they're Anunnaki or something. I don't know. They're like the hybrids of the Anunnaki, which now, who is it? Oh, there's some people in the government apparently or something saying the Anunnaki are about to return. So I hope so. God, that's gonna be so cool. So anyway, that would be just the coolest. I swear, that would be like, oh, fuck, life was so worth it. So, anyways, but so all of this stuff is to show things, and the people are looking at it going, but it's their boundaries of their biases that keep them looking in this direction, and so they don't see all the stuff. It's like, dude, this is all about peace on earth and the resources, and this is the advancement of the earthlings. This is the advancement of the humans in this realm. This is the Jubilee. Like, they're all coming together in peace. They're all signing on to peace. Everybody's figuring out, like, it's a restructuring where there's not someone in there trying to take advantage of somebody else. They're all just coming into peace and fair trade and all of these things, and having your resources benefit you and stuff. So it's, and the people don't see because they don't have a connection to their spirituality, and they don't have a deeper perspective over what's happening. So they're very surface level, and then their surface is even guided by their biases. And so some people, you know, it just depends on how you look at things, but so they just don't see things, and then they're all like, there's some people panicking and stuff. I saw a religious one though talking about there's setting prophecy in motion. Like, this is all, you know, with the Middle East and the real and all that stuff. So, but yeah, there's some truth in the prophecy, and this is, but you gotta put all the prophecies together, not just focus on one. You know, and that's the problem, is people just focus on their own. No, you guys don't have the answers, we do. It's like, it's not how it would work. Like, it's weird. That's a very hierarchy mind, you know, I'm better than you. It's like, you got to start seeing, like, we're all the same, and nobody's better than anybody else. And so, anyways, so all of this stuff going on to me is all about the going into the peace, going into where we're going to become this one world thing. And, you know, him taking that jet, I have no idea, because there's this whole weird thing too about this cake cutting and him cutting the plane. So he cut his, and maybe it was, I mean, because we don't know the behind the scenes kind of thing, you know, of all of this stuff. Like there's some symbolic things happening that we don't understand, and that's what was interesting with Charlie Freak, because they were misguiding us, and they were telling us in the media the things that were happening. But then when he went in and explained things of what was happening, really, then you get a different perspective. And so all the different things happening now, I just keep having the awareness, like there's something that we don't understand that's happening. There's something behind the scenes we don't understand. And then, but I know into what we're going towards. And it's not just because it's biblical prophecy, but it's written in the stars. It's just the way it is. It's what we're here to experience, what we're here to play out. And so this is the time of change. This is that changing of the ages. And this is the age of Aquarius. We're going from dark to light. So we get to the pendulum swing back. And then, but this ride is not a ride that you can just jump off and go on. No, you have to match where it is you're going. And most of the people are not a match for this energy. They're in a lower vibration state. They're in a dependent state. They're in a self-loathing of our earthlings. Is that we're in the stage of the self-loathers and the hatefulness, and everybody's out for getting everybody else. But, you know, it's changing, and people are softening. And that's what has to go. That's what has to be in order to go into the higher vibration. And so each person has their own stage, their own metamorphosis, their own things that they have to pull free from the pod and pull out and start to develop. And the universe will work with you. Like I said, like my algorithm became full of like herbal stuff, you know, the copper water. Like I wasn't just going and thinking of this stuff and just researching. Age isn't real. It's like, no, I went and started experiencing it, and then I started being like, oh my God, they fucking made up aging. Like, they, and then when you start realizing like a long-term poisoning and what poisoning does to you, and and then it's so much about your mind. And there's some, I don't know who it is, because the person who was sharing the guy talking, she was just showing, you know, her reaction to his talking. So it's his voice and her reactions. So I don't know who the guy was, but he was also saying that aging isn't real, that they do the mindset thing, and that you got to not do your birthdays, that has to do with putting it into your mind, so you're aging yourself. And I've heard this so much. That's why I've told people, leave me out of this whole birthday thing. Y'all want to play it, go ahead. But I don't. Oh, that's so cute. You don't want to have birthdays anymore. Oh, you're 39 again. It's like, no. That's what I'm saying. There's so much of this. It's like a different philosophy that it's like people don't understand. Like, you know, like, well, I'm skinny, so therefore, you know, I'm starving myself. I'm certainly not eating cheesecake and cookies all the fucking time, candy and shit. So that certainly couldn't be true. And so then when I am, then it's like, well, you're just not healthy, really. So what are we seeing in that would make anyone think that I'm not healthy? I don't get sick. I mean, I got the allergies. Even when I was having whatever fucking mold sickness that was eating up my lungs, I was still out there fucking doing it, walking my dogs every day. Like, where, you know, I haven't been better. Even when I fucking got my explant, I was, you know, I laid on the couch. Well, one night I did go, because the bed had that sitting up thing, and you had to sit up. And so I did go sit in there, but, I mean, I don't have much that just takes me down, you know, or I'm not functioning. I can't get up and feed my dog, can't do stuff. So, you know, I don't even know the last time when I was sick. Because even when 2020 happened and my daughter got it, and we had gone, we traveled internationally, and there was all these everywhere. And I think they were pumping it through the air vents. But so two of my daughters got it, and then and it was when it was really being beefed up. You're gonna die. That's serious. And so of course there's panic sets out, and so my one daughter who was so sick, the one who hasn't been speaking to me for years, and she was like desperately needed me to come over and take care of her. Well, I was worried because I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to get sick and I'm going to be out here. Because I got super, super sick a couple of times. Fuck, man. When I was working in medical, oh my God. I got so, so sick. And so it's like, fuck, man, I don't want to fucking have that again. Shit. Um, but then I was like, well, I mean, fuck. For all we know, like, it's death. Like, so I better go over. And so I didn't know for sure what to do. So I just got the emergency stuff. And it just took, I think I took a couple of those packages. Maybe I drank one or two, and then later drank a couple. But I was there for a couple days and going in and taking care of her and shit. And it's all I did was just drink that emergency. And which seems kind of like Tang, really, but it has a big dose of C. And so I did that, and then I went home, and then it was like the time when you would get sick, and I started to get sick, and I was like, fuck, here it comes. And then I was fine. I was like, oh man, that C really helped. Gosh dang. And that was giving me, like, right then, see, I was, like, So, the, um, so anyways, I haven't been sick in a long fucking time. And, since, I was almost dying from the medical. And so, now it is like, to me, over eating sweets and stuff, it's like a philosophy to life. Because it just seems like when you're healing and you're going through this stuff, there's a whole lot of, and especially as you're awakening, there's a whole lot of like, the food's poison, this and that. Oh, it's just like, it's gonna be so overwhelming. And so it's like a whole bunch of like pushing everything away, where it started being like, man, this is like if you think of it as God's world and stuff, and we're just like slamming on it, not enjoying anything, not living anything happily, like we're just like, and then I start being like, I think we're supposed to do things that we love. We're supposed to, like if you want to go have a beer, go have a fucking beer. You want to, we need to do things that we are here, that we love to experience and stuff. And like, I like sweets. I've liked sweets ever since I was a kid. Like I was living off sweet. I didn't like food. And, but I ate food, but now I like vegetables. But it was the same way back then. I'm more vegetables and beans. And now it's the same, but I like sweets. And it really is a huge trigger for a lot of people. But, it doesn't go in the mindset of thin and eating junk. And, but to me, it's doing the things that you love. But I can't, I said, well, I love margaritas and I'm going to enjoy one every day. I know that would have me put on weight. For sure. I feel like not drinking has made a difference. I feel like not drinking and not eating out, that I had already started that when I had first went over to the west side. And so that is where I would say, like, in that period of time, so 2019, I probably lost like 7 pounds or something. But before that, there was already people who were like, oh my God, your mom sounds skinny. And then, so then I think I lost like 7 pounds going over to the west side. Never going, and that's where I started seeing this like, ooh, never going out to eat and not drinking. Like, if I was still over here and going over to people's houses, I would have still been sitting there and having a drink with people. But over there, I'm just by myself. And so, especially after 2020, and I was very isolated and so didn't ever drink. I mean, there was a couple times like I went and got my own beer and did my own, like, I I'm just gonna go have a beer and sit out and watch the sunset and smoke a joint. And I was like all into that for a while. And then it was, and I don't know that it was making me, it wasn't like I was drinking a beer every day or anything like that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure I wasn't. But but I would say in that period where wasn't drinking and wasn't eating out, that's where I saw like, oh man, I lost like, I would say 7 pounds from that. And then, so then when people would see me, they were like, well, you're losing weight, you look skinny. And I was like, well, that's what fucking not eating out and not drinking, man. That was my thing that I would say back then, because that's what I had seen. I was like, fuck, man. Because I wasn't purposely, I was doing everything else the same. And I'm making cookies and shit all the time. So, but was losing weight, and I was like, fuck, I know it's eating out, and I wasn't even a big drinker. So, but not having any alcohol. And then the explant thing. And then that is where I, once that was gone and I saw my stomach more, that is when I started going more with the bands and stuff, where I started pulling that muscle in. So to me, it's like I didn't lose weight from all of that time, but it's weird how now, I don't know. And then it bothers me because everybody looks at me like I'm toxic or something. And then I'm like, but I'm not. I want to be recognized for being healthy, man. And that all of the stuff before, what I was saying about my weird things about eating, I was right. Their fucking goddamn shit was all fucking, you make people fat. And then when you're not joining in, and then people think you're toxic. It's like, what the hell? And so, anyways, but there's still like this breaking free and all this mindset now. And it just, I don't know, it can trigger me and can aggravate me and stuff. And it is like, especially when you're going through this metamorphosis, is you want to be seen for who you are now. And you want to, but people can't. They're still looking through life through these lenses, and they just don't see things that. So, but to me, it's all been a part of my healing health journey, You've got the changing my peripheral vision, the strengthening my core, that I had not realized that the whole problem why I was falling and shit was because they had created so much weakness in my stomach muscles from cutting them open, and I had to do so much strength building to build my core. But see, I learned that like in 2018, and then I was doing like yoga and stuff. And like I said, my waist was still thicker, but then it's these bands. I'm telling you, these bands they pull these muscles like a fucking, it's like having a girdle on or something. Your muscles pull in, and I'm not used to that. And I think a lot of women who have had kids, you forget what it feels like to have your muscles be so tight and hold you. It's like, fuck, man, that feels good. And I don't want to go back and have it be like all weak and like, I'll keep going in this way. And when I've got the joint pain and swelling and tired and stuff like that, I just push through it and stuff. And and knowing that the joint swelling and pain and stuff like that is from the goddamn fucking my body reacting to the chemicals that it doesn't like. So but anyways, you're going to be misunderstood and not recognized and shit when you're going through it and you're changing in your metamorphosis, the people around you. And even if they do recognize change, it's like, I don't know, it's like everybody's just standing and watching, like, because they're still seeing you as how they've seen you before, and they don't see you for who you're becoming. Everything has to go through those filters of how they saw you before. And, I don't know, there's a lot of black sheep people who are seen as being so toxic and weird and all this shit. So, anyways, but there's no way to go over without doing this transition, without you going, and you're going against all, it's like you're going against the grain, and everybody's trying to stop you. I mean, even, oh, what was it yesterday? It was some conversation, because I mean, there's so much going on. I don't remember if it was something about the money, or, I'll just be glad when that whole, when that fucking falls apart. And, but I remember, because I was saying, just think about this, okay? Because just not having to pay for your land, your home, and your resources, how much more money you would have. Like, it doesn't matter, even if they're not dumping reparations on us right away or whatever, which I still say there's going to be, money's going to be coming in. But the just having to not have to pay all of their fucking bullshit, their insurance, their licensing, their paying for water and electricity, which I saw somebody saying now they're starting with the free energy. They're starting to get things. Everything's going to be changing. Like, even this shit where he's saying we're going to be building all these cars. Watch and see if it isn't these developers are like, oh, we're going to be floating now. We're going to be, everything's going to be changing. And so we're going to have a lot of industry and stuff, but the cars aren't going to be being the same. And everything is going to be changing. And it's going to start changing fast. It's going to change faster and faster and faster and faster. And it's going to make people feel more and more tense and nervous. But the thing is like, you need to look at why are you tense and nervous. And it's hard, man. Like, on all these things we're getting triggered and stuff, it's like, it's difficult. So I was, because I'm saying, just think of the difference of that. And I would say something about the house loans, or someone said about the house loans, and I said, well, the loans are already deemed illegal in courts, just nobody knows, so everybody just keeps paying them. But the courts have already said they're illegal. They're fucking loan shark shit. It's a corrupt shit. Like, it's fucking bullshit. And then it's, well, you should be thankful that you have, I mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna be thankful that they bend us over and fucking we just take it up the fucking, yeah, right. And it's like, man, some of the three-dimensional conversations is like, I'm not gonna be appreciative of the bullshit. Well, just be glad that it's there. Just, it's like, no. And besides the fact, as long as you remain complicit and are A-okay with everything, then it stays the same. You have to pull free. You have to say, like, nah, this isn't good. And then just keep trying to hold on to it and hold on to it. It's like, oh my God, and weirdest shit that people want to hold on to. And the people's defensiveness and stuff. Like, there's so many things that are just so, and that's why I'm not gonna sit and argue and stuff. But then, to be able to go in and fine tune, like, to not stuff it, to process through it, and to not become argumentative, not become like, well, to be able to just process through and let it go. Because, holding on to it does you no good, but letting go is a process of, I mean, it's just, oh my God. Just somebody sitting there, like, when you're talking to them, telling you what to do. Quit playing with your hair. Like, why? Well, you look nervous. I don't give a fuck. That's what I don't give a fuck about. I'm gonna pull out these fucking hairs because they're falling out and tickling me. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. But see, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, every little jerk, I'm not gonna go and have some altercation over. It's just like, no, fucking, it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna sit there and do it around you. But it's weird how, I don't know, there is so much of this idea of people in glass houses Like, who of us could ever stand up and say, we've got nothing we do that's irritating? You know? It's like, we all are irritating somebody. We're all doing something. Like, why should I have to stop what I'm doing so you aren't irritated? It's like, get over your irritation. It's like, it's not my fucking problem. And so, anyways, but then also you don't want to be confrontational and argumentative. And then also, I mean, like, I got to be thankful and have gratitude to have a garage to stay in. And yeah, if it weren't for loans, you wouldn't even have one. It's like, okay, thank you, bankers. Oh, thank you. It's like, so, anyways, you know, like I said, that there's tons of triggers out there, and then the feelings that come up are like more extreme than they were the last time. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I would feel like, man, this has got to be the energy and the noise, the loudness in my head, and how loud everything is, and how intense everything feels. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But anyways, on the philosophy of life, I do feel like that we should be in gratitude. We shouldn't be arguing. We shouldn't be using this as a battle zone. If we've got issues with people from a long time ago, we've also got to be able to see them and see everybody's going through the metamorphosis. See everybody is going through these changes, and everybody's being triggered by everybody else. Bet your ass if you're being triggered, the other person's being triggered too. And it's best to me is just, you know, step away, especially when everything's intense. You gotta be figuring they're just getting triggered too. And so to step away, don't go into like battle zone. That is where I think where people are becoming, you know, unalive from these battle zones, because you know, and apparently, and I don't know if it's true because it's just the word on the street, is there's a neighbor or somebody, it's Nova Scotia, this town where these two kids are that's really small, and apparently they've found them both, and they're not, you know, they're gone, and but the town's not announcing it because the town's so scared of being overwhelmed by the media and stuff. So, who knows? Weird shit everywhere. But yeah, I wasn't very hopeful that like there's so many people like doing in their own kids and stuff, and I don't know. Who knows what's gonna come of this? I mean, they still got the fucking Lori Vallow in the fucking courts and shit. Talking her nonsense. Sometimes it's like, was that a snore? No, it was a. I don't know who would snore that loud over there. Sounding kind of like thunder or something. Yesterday, I was standing there, and there was something tapping. And I look over. It's this tiny little bird. Just, I don't know if he's pecking his beak to. Maybe they have to peck him to get the sharp thing. Or I don't know. It was the weirdest thing, and how loud it was. Everything is so intense and so loud. So I would say, figure that you're probably feeling things that are more intense than they would be, and that other people around you, and you don't want to argue, you don't want to be fighting and stuff, because a lot of things that you say in fights you can't take back, and fights usually have a lot of emotional baggage that is pouring out, and so you have emotions that aren't being tamed, and then you start spilling them out on somebody, and then after you calm down, then it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. We get kind of, well, I know I don't just say things to hurt people. I get real honest, and people don't want to hear things. So when I get mad, like, I'm not gonna just sit and call you names and stuff. I'm gonna just say something that's gonna jab you, though. Like, I don't know why I'm good at it. Like, I'm so good at it. All of my husbands never wanted to get married again. I turned them off the marriage thing. It's like they're all like, nope, I'll stay single from this point on. And that started with number one. Like, he's been single for fucking 40 fucking years or something. The other one, 20 years. The other one, I don't know. He was a player. So, but he didn't get married again. There's no way he's going to do that. I would be shocked. The last one, too. I will be shocked if I were to find out that either, I don't know. I would just got a problem with breaking people or something. I don't know. But to me, like I said, I'm not going to just be, saying, well, you're a stupid big duty head. Oh, no. I'm going to say, well, maybe you need to mend the relationship with your mother if you don't like you know. What? I don't, Please just call me a duty head instead. It's like, don't talk about anything real. It's like, well, you gotta get real with this shit, man. You gotta look at things deeper. And you gotta look at the things that you need to heal them in, especially at this time. You wanna metamorphosize, you wanna get over to the good stuff, then you're gonna have to do some work. And some of the work is letting go of the bullshit. And, I don't know, because there's a part of the whole fight, which to me is like, I might be, are we talking prophecy or are we talking, like, what are we talking here? And part of it is, not being able to see what's happening, see where we're going, what's blinding you. You're so set on this prophecy that you can't see what's happening in front of you. You can't, and so many people are so distracted and they can't see what's happening in front of them. And I don't know. Sometimes I think it's weird, how do I see? But then, go through things in my life. It's like I've always been able to see. I've been able to see things. So, this is, it's a change and it's an opportunity, because it's not everybody, just because you're here right now doesn't mean you're automatically going there. No, you got to make your way there. You got to do the work. And that's the thing with these new spiritual people, is like, they don't want to do the work on anything. You just look the other way. And it's like, well, that's not going to get you anywhere. You have to do some work on yourself if you want to change. If you want your life to change, if you want your reality to change, you've got to change. And so, that's your metamorphosis. That's your taking a hard look at yourself and seeing, what is it I need to change? And then you start seeing, like, the victim part of life, the people playing victim. You see the patterns, you see the game that's being played. Oh, I'm the victim, and you're the narcissist. And then with another relationship, well, you're a narcissist and I'm the victim. And so it's just like this game's playing out all over the place. We're all, you're the victim or you're the narcissist. You're the victim or you're the narcissist. It's like, that's where you gotta pull out of these fucking games and be like, well, I'm both the victim and the narcissist, and I'm the one who has to find the balance, because I can't play along with this shit anymore. And so you have to change your habits, you have to change your patterns, you have to look at them, and then you start changing them, and then all of a sudden you find yourself kind of like, well, I'm not really hanging out with anybody anymore, because everybody's fucking playing games all the time. And then when you go and you be around everybody, then you see through the games, but then you can't just be, what is that? Not assault, but confrontational about it, because then it's like, where's your zen there? Just trying to point out to everybody else. And so then it's like, you got to find peace in it, the realization of the toxicity of everybody else, and just be like, okay, well, you guys can play it out, and just working on yourself and working on your health and stuff. But when you go in the direction of self and self-improvement, mind, body, spirit, or spiritual life philosophy, how to love yourself, how to listen to yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to develop into having better relationships. And sometimes having better relationships is letting go of shit. Somebody says something and it's like, you just let go of it. Maybe they're having a bad day. Like I said, it's their focus is like, doesn't have to be your focus. And, and if somebody is like, because it reminds me of like when I was married. Well, I've been married a bunch of times, but I did number two, and he had such a thing, like so many little things irked him. So, like, you weren't allowed to chew ice, you weren't allowed to slurp, you weren't allowed, it's like every little fucking thing. It's like, get a handle on your shit, you know? The whole world doesn't need to fucking stop what it's doing so you don't have to experience it. Anything that's pushing you is so you can develop over that. Not stop it. Everybody stop. You're making noise for me. It's like, well, I got to figure out how to manage the noise. And as you manage it, it gets louder and louder and louder. It's like, I swear to God, it's so loud, right? I feel like I swear I feel like everybody can hear my thoughts. I feel like everybody can it's so loud. And I know that to some people it just sounds so crazy. But once you experience it, then you'll know like what I'm talking about. It's like, fuck, man, everything is so fucking loud. You can see through things. But you gotta just keep going towards, you're doing what's right for you, doing what's best for you, and taking care of yourself and loving yourself. And even if that irks people and it goes against your typical role and you're not being yourself or whatever, then, you gotta tip things upside down. You gotta go towards what is right for you, even if it's not right for everybody else. And then once you stand, it's like stand on business, stand on who you are, what you want to be, then that is more of a motivation for other people. It's more of a role model. It's more of like, well, I can do that too. But you got to push through everything that's trying to hold you back. And there's so much. This world is built on such stagnation. Everybody's holding on to everybody else. But we're going to go into such a period of flight, such a period of takeoff. And that is where, the metamorphosis leads into the coming out of your cocoon, the phoenix rising, all of that stuff. That's the metamorphosis. That's Christ consciousness returning. That's the baptism of the releasing of your old self, a forgiveness of yourself, and moving into your new self. It's like all of these little things are to like show us that there's this one part of you, and then you move into this other part of yourself. And it's crazy is because moving into the other part of yourself is where you have to find balance. And it's like everybody, but that's what to me is part of the game, is coming into the dark and then finding yourself and pulling yourself out and not being tricked. Like there's, to me, a part of the trickery in the game is where people, like, something happens and then they feel like they've got to avenge it. They've got to get revenge. They were going after them. They will never do that again. It's like you're caught up in the game. Like you gotta, you don't want to do that. You want to let shit go. You don't want to try and create revenge, because then what you're creating is a karmic entanglement, an energetic entanglement of this, back and forth, back and forth. So you want to let go of this stuff and, let I'll mind my business, you mind your business, and whatever falls back. So letting go, whatever falls back on you, that's your business. You gotta mind yours. You gotta heal it, fix it, do whatever. And then whatever falls back on them, that's theirs. And that is part of the identity too, is what's yours and what's mine. And then as you pull free, and that creates boundaries and stuff like that. And as you pull free and go into towards yourself, that is where you're raising your vibration and bringing yourself into this other state of mind, which the collective that goes and reaches that state of mind is the creation of the age of Aquarius. So we are the ones that create it, because we reach this stage of development in our consciousness. And so that is where we begin to have the life that we want to live. We go towards it in a different kind of way, and the vibration's gonna be higher. I still, I don't know about all this quantum, jumping and, jump from your toxic life into your best life phenomena nonsense thing. But to me, it's the path, it's the steps, it's the development. And in the development, how it goes, it's so hard to just be like, well, it was this and it was this, because it all goes together. And so I was having things where in the physical, it was pushing me in a direction. I was having my algorithm started coming in, talking to me, feeding me to go into that direction. I always go in and talk to guidance or whatever ever since I was little. And so going in and trying to get confirmation or understanding on things, and then just going in that direction. And when you're going in that direction, then it just definitely start seeing aging isn't real. It's just as unreal as all the rest of bullshit. But so that okay, yeah, because that guy said that the aging is a mindset, and they control it through the birthday, like how your mind works and how you start aging yourself. So, and I knew everything has the mind, body, spirit. Your mind has the direction. It's like it's what creates the focus, the direction that you're going, and that's why you want to get a handle on it. Like what I talk about when I say to have the day you want. It is how you focus your direction. If you're just focused on sad stuff and feeling down and looking at everybody's fuckery and the fucking bullshit and stuff, then you're gonna feel like it's fucked. But then if you look at like all of the good stuff, and that doesn't mean just bury your head in the sand. Like, I've never understood that. Just look away. If you don't like it, look away. It's like, what? That's, but see, that's a philosophy in life too. We're meant to see this stuff. We're meant to change it. How does anything change if we're all just looking away? It's like, no, we got to see what we're doing wrong. We got to see what's broken. That's how things change. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people with the same mindset, because that's what's going to create the change, is wanting the change, seeing the change and seeing the possibilities. And so, I don't know, there's lots of people who don't see the possibilities. They just hold on to, for dear life, to what is there. Because I don't know, because to me, if you have a good spiritual relationship, then you always know that you're more, that there's more and stuff. It's not a question. Oh, which there's some interview with Einstein, I guess, and he says just that. And he says it's just an inner knowing. But yeah, we do go on. Energy, you can't change, it just changes form. But we go on and on and on. And he said it's something that you just have to have an internal knowing about. See? And that is, but that's where they keep people disconnected from their spiritual side, so that they don't have that internal thing. It just is weird, because to me, it's like my mind was just loud. It was like no ignoring it. I don't know how everybody else ignores theirs. But my spiritual, like now, I mean, they're in fucking tournament. But, but mine has always been in there, just, talking and getting me to look at other things, getting me to think, and always having an internal look at me. And that's something that people always thought was weird, because I would say it out loud a lot, and people would always think like I was turning things on me. But it's like, I've got to look at my side. I've got to look at all the things. I can't just sit here and think like I don't have any role in anything. But it still took me a long time to see. I still was playing out the victim thing for a long time, and it was like, you are, I don't know, like if I look at those pictures and stuff of me, I see somebody's really shut down, out of balance. And like I said, it's weird, as you're healing, you're pulling yourself into balance. That it's weird, because we're so far over in the dark, and how far you've got to pull in to the light to even find something to balance. So it's like your balance is way out of balance. Everybody, in all aspects, the physical, mental, emotional. So it's, this is the reconnecting to self. This is the main major healing. This is what everything is going on. And all the people who have this three-dimensional need to have this world to be whatever it is all playing out for them in all of this spectacular show that's going. But what it's really trying to show you is that this place is bullshit, it's illusion, it's corrupt, it's criminal, and what they're really going to lead us into is freedom and sovereignty and technology and the Christ consciousness, because that is, the soul is going to come back to, the soul's going to come back to music, it's going to come back to food, it's going to come back to, and I don't know how long we'll even be on food. I think food will also be like a step down, and everything takes time, but yeah, I don't see in a new world where, we're going to go out and hunt rabbits to kill them or something, which there was another dead bunny up in the hall. So somebody, and my mom's going through all this, so, well, maybe the bunnies are coming in on their own. I'm like, no, that fucking Tum-Tum, he's going out and he's found their nest. He's going out and getting them, killing them, bringing them in as a gift to you. So that's what the predator cats do, is bring you, I don't know, bring a gift to the whole thing, which having a pack, like, man, I've seen now, like, you gotta really have a control over them, man, especially with certain personalities. Like Archie turns on a dime. He's the little one, but Stella, she's like the big bully. She wants in on the action. And they will corner, and they will all go, because then one of Mom's dogs was down here, and they were doing it to her, and they're all on her, barking her right in her face like they were doing to that cat. And it's like, fuck, that is like vicious. So I like start spraying water on him. But anyways, fuck, there's 5 days. I gotta really just feel like it's getting closer and closer too. Next week I'm gonna have to just make up a bunch of food and get it all set aside so she can just come and open it. And that is, I still feel like it's gonna be like, oh, and I gotta leave the garage open the whole time. And then Max, the fucking master of escapism, and I'm gonna have to go out and just totally reinforce this little fence and really block it so that because they're gonna be in panic. And then who knows? I just don't even know. It's like I feel like they're kind of going to be left. I think they're going to feel like they're left on their own too. So I don't know. Hopefully she's going to open the thing and have them come up and have them stay in the backyard, and then only have them come down here in the evening. So I'm going to talk to her more about that, and only have her come down in the evening, and then and that door is just gonna be open for like 5 days. Fuck. And when I just had it open a minute ago, and I saw Max was messing with something, I was like, oh, it's gotta be a cricket or a beetle. And then it was. Fucking sneaky ass crickets fucking sneaking in here. And then, but that big spiders too. It's like, fuck. God, I just wanna, don't want to be whiny, but I do just want my own home. Just want my own home, my own time, my own world again. It's just like, oh, so weird when you're at somebody else's. It's like you feel like you're caught up in the whirlwind of theirs. It's like, I need to pull out in my own space. But I know that there's lots of things, lots of triggers and stuff. So I know there's lots of things that there's a purpose. There's always a purpose. And then plus this fucking garden, I feel like it's really got her set for having her gardening being easy for, as you're aging, and you need it to not be so big and overwhelming, but still need to be able to grow your own food. Then, and plus have a place to have all your pretty flowers and shit. She's got flowers grow all everywhere. Like, this place is like a growing mecca. I'll do the garden, and then in a couple weeks I'll do it again, and we'll see how. I'll do a video for anybody who's interested. I'll do a video today, because then I have another place where I'm going to put another pot. There's a few more things that I've got to get dirt and plant a couple more pots and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll do one, and then I'll show one in a couple weeks, and we'll see how much the stuff has grown. So, anyways, how long have I been talking long? Um, and it seemed like there was some more stuff, and then I don't even know if I've cut off, but the anyways, I have I don't know. I feel super scattered. Like I feel like I'm about to just go though back over it again. I say I think I've gone over it enough. But there is like you develop your own philosophy on life, and you know you don't have to just hate everything. Everything doesn't have to be bad for you. Some of the things is how we look at things. And then some of the things are, you know, going in and looking at it and learning how to enjoy some of the stuff. Enjoy the things you enjoy. And don't feel like, you know, that you can't have the things you want. That's like a mindset. So many people, well, I can't have cake. It just goes right to my hips. It's like, well, that's what you just told yourself. So that's what's going to happen. What if you start saying, well, I can have a piece of cake. I love cake. I can eat a piece of cake and do fine. And then, you know, maybe don't. Like, there's other things that you can balance out on your food. And then, especially if you're like on mine, I feel like I can get away with eating sweets and shit like that as I have all these healthy things I drink in the morning. They're full of nutrients and well, I don't know about proteins, but full of nutrients and minerals and vitamins and shit. And then it also clears out toxins in your body, but it's not clearing them all out. Like, fuck, man. I even tried a patch, and I mean, it takes more bentonite clay, I think. So, anyways, but I'm full of fucking toxins. But being out there and working hard and breathing deep and all the fucking shit, and then Reiki, all the shit coming up. So, it's just all sorts of poisons. And, but, anyways, I think, you know, you need to do the things that you love and love, you know what? It's okay to do some things. It's just it's so much about us telling ourselves, just like the thing with the aging every year. When you are the one counting it and you start putting in your head, well, this is how old I am, this is what these people are like, this is what, and you start, it's you doing it. And then when you don't follow along with the illusion, people think you're delusional and you think you're crazy. It's like, nope, you guys are doing this. You're doing this. Like, it doesn't have to be done that way. And so, I don't know. I feel like I'm just talking in a really weird way today, too. Like, I don't even know if I'm making sense. I'm cutting off and stuff. Like, you gotta have a little telepathy if you're gonna listen to me. You gotta kind of see where I'm going with it. Catch on to what's going on in here. So, anyways, just remember, now my stomach's growling. I feel like I'm starving too. Just remember though, because what I'm telling you, the most important things going on here isn't what Trump's flying around in, any of that stuff. That is all showing us that this whole thing is coming together. We're going into a one world, not the one world not their world. We're going into the one world, the earthlings, and we're gonna have other beings coming. So that it makes clear that we're the earthlings, they're the Anunnakis, everybody's gonna be their own thing. And that's where you got to learn how to accept the people that are around you. If you can't accept them, how are you going to accept the ones that are, you know, look like creatures or look like other animals or whatever? And humanoid ones that don't look like you or any of the things. How are you going to accept them? Like I saw a video yesterday too of it was supposed to be a reptilian, and it said that they are here and that they are not all bad and they're here to change things. They're here to bring balance and stuff like that. And I said that a while ago, fucking years ago. I said I don't think all the reptilians are bad. I think that there's you know, where everybody's like, oh, the reptilians suck and stuff. I don't think all the reptilians are bad. I think it's just the same as like with humans, with everything. There's some bad ones or some good ones. And all of the good ones, that we're all on this certain vibration. If you want to think of the good ones, of the light, a certain vibration, we're all going to be coming together. And we're going to all be respectful of one another. And we're all going to live in our own little realities, and we're all gonna travel around different and stuff. Like everything is gonna be changing. I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth it once we get there. But I don't want to make it like that's the only place to go, because there's gonna be other ones. There's other realities. There's other places that people are preparing. So, but this is the one I'm going to. It's all about peace and love, and the love starts with you. And so, learning how to love yourself. Oh wait, we forgot. We forgot. I forgot. I forgot. I don't know. Is it growing? Is it falling out? Fuck if I know. I can't tell. I always like it when it starts getting lighter. But learning how to love yourself, that is primo shit, man. That's what you got to do. That's what we're here to do. So learn how to love yourself, loving everybody else, learning how to love everybody, and learning how to have the day that you want to have. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about in my world. So, anyways, I'll be talking about it again tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll make more sense. Hopefully, I made some sense. Anyways, talk to you later.